Hello lads, hope you're well. Today I wanted to talk about taking care of yourself. Everything from up here to physical as well. I think a lot of people do one or the other, maybe a little bit of both, but I think very few people actually really commit to doing the whole package, looking after themselves physically and mentally, having a good routine, having good habits and doing everything necessary to sort of be all round healthy as a man. We'll start with the physical side of things, because I think a lot of people think that's pretty obvious. As a bloke, if you see another guy who's in the gym, big and strong, you think, yeah, he's fine, he's healthy as anything. Realistically, that's not necessarily the case. Even if you are in the gym doing all the running and everything like that, are you doing the recovery side of things? In my team, we always talk about train hard, but do you recover hard as well? If you've done a massive session, loads of weights, loads of cardio, things like that, are you going home stretching? Are you on the foam roller getting all your muscles and everything like that? Are you, if you can afford it, having massages and things like that? Are you booking in chiropractor appointments or physio appointments if you've had little injuries and everything like that? Are you eating properly? A huge part of fitness and everything like that is your diet, because realistically, no matter what you're doing in the gym and everything like that, if you're not eating the right kind of foods to be healthy, your body's just not going to recover, and all that fitness work is pretty much going to go down the drain. The reason I say all this is, as I mentioned earlier, I think a lot of blokes are very good at doing the fun bit. They're good at doing the weights and everything like that. Everyone loves being in the gym, everyone loves sort of doing a bit of running or cardio or whatever, but let's be honest, the stuff afterwards, the recovery on the mat, that's the boring bits where you're just laying there sort of stretching, feels like you're not really doing much. Foam rollers, absolutely excruciating if you're doing it in the right way. And yeah, booking physio appointments or booking massages and stuff like that, it just takes time out of your day, and it's something that's not as fun as actually doing all the activity. But the reality is, if you're not doing the after bit, if you're not doing the recovery bit, then like I said earlier, it's not as far as throwing it down the drain. That might have been a bit of overreaction, but if you're not doing the recovery and the work that you should be doing afterwards, then you're just going to end up hurting yourself. And if you end up hurting yourself, that's time out of the gym, harder to get back into it. If you've been out of the gym for a little bit, slower to get back into it, that's going to lead to more injuries, which is just going to lead to more time out of the gym. There's reason these days that professional athletes and sports teams and things like that, they near enough have a mini A&E department in each of their training facilities. If you've ever been to, if you're a rugby fan at all, you've ever been to Twickenham, the medical centre under Twickenham basically could be its own hospital. And you wonder how these players who get horrific injuries like ACLs or cruciate ligaments or the one in your ankle, completely forgotten, but yeah, you get something like that, and they're back playing sort of within 6 to 9 months, that is because their recovery is absolutely on point. They're receiving the best medical care possible. Achilles, that's what I was thinking of. They're receiving the best medical care possible, and because of that recovery, that's allowing their bodies to come back, maybe not necessarily back stronger, but get back to the levels they were at before. It's also why you're seeing players play to such ridiculous ages these days at the highest level. You've got people like Cristiano Ronaldo, who isn't as good as Messi, but he's still playing at what, 37, 38 in the Premier League, still banging in loads of goals. That just didn't really happen years ago because people didn't understand the science as much. And the reason he can stay at that level when other players don't is because, as he well documents, he is absolutely anal about what he puts in his body and the recovery and all the fitness stuff that he does. Now, I'm not a PT, this isn't a fitness channel at all. Like I say, my channel is way more to do with sort of the mindset stuff, the well-being side of things, mental health and everything like that, which is what I'll get onto in a sec. But I wanted to sort of do a bit more of an all-round video for this particular one, so I thought I'd start on that side of things, because the reason this has come up for me is just something that I've joined recently. I get a few vouchers for things like physio and stuff like that, and I get to claim some money, and it made me think about, actually, I do a bit of stretching, I do get the foam roller out after if I've done a session or whatever, but actually, like, if I go to this physio next week, is he going to look at me and go, oh yeah, your body's an absolute... No, he's gonna be like, mate, what are you doing? Like, you need this done, this, because I'm not as good as I should be. And going to a physio or going to something like that is what's really going to help. Now, on the mental side of things, which is much more what my channel is about, much more what I want to specialise in. If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I'm currently studying psychology, training to be a therapist, and I eventually hope to specialise in men's side of therapy and things like that. Yeah, so that's sort of a little bit about my background. But on the mental side of things, for me it's divided into a few categories. You've got sort of your attitudes and everything like that, your discipline and that side of things. You've got more the happiness and just overall well-being, how are you sort of question. And then I think you've got the other side of looking forward. What are you feeling about the future? What are you feeling about going forward and where you're going and everything like that. Now, I'll start on the discipline side, because I think this is the one that if you can crack, everything else will slowly start to fall into place. And it can be slowly, but it does start to fall into place in my experience. This is something that I've really experienced. Again, if you haven't watched my channel, I mentioned a little while back, I had a wedding in Marbella back in June, and I think about 4 weeks before that, I had the stag do for the wedding in Manchester, and I had an absolutely wicked weekend. But I got back and I was like, I've got a holiday in 4 weeks, I'm not feeling how I want to feel. And I wrote myself a little program, and I sort of wrote a little diet, and I've always had sort of my habits and my routines and things like that. But I just went, you know what, this summer there's no excuses. You're done with exams, done with uni for the summer. Let's just see what you can do, really push yourself. And I feel I feel so much better. I would say, yeah, that was sort of the middle of May, so it's sort of been 2 months or so. And I don't know if you can tell from sort of, if you go back and watch Wellbeing, but I feel so much healthier, I look so much healthier, I've got so much energy, and the main thing to that has been discipline. And it's just been nothing. I don't do anything silly. I'm not one of these crazy people like Jocko Willink that wake up at 4:30 and go to the gym or anything like that. I haven't cut out chocolate, cut out carbs, or cut out alcohol the day I cut out alcohol. Anyway, all I've done, the main thing is I've been 6:30 every morning. You get up and go to the gym. Not every morning, sorry, but like gym days, 6:30, get up. The reason I've done that is because before I've always got up at 7, and I have time when I get up at 7, but it is a little bit of a rush. But actually waking up that half an hour earlier, although I lose half an hour of sleep, I'm far more likely to actually get up and go, because I've got a little bit more time. More importantly, because I'm going more, I'm working harder, because I've got that little extra bit of time, I'm more likely to be tired in the evening, so I'm actually sleeping a lot better now as well. Minus the heat wave, but even then I've made little things to get around it. You can't see, but behind the camera my bed is actually in the living room floor, just because of how bad the heat was. So yeah, and because of that, bleeding in from the discipline and everything like that, that has bled into other parts of my life. Sort of, I've had a lot more. I just feel like I've had a lot more time to see my friends. I'm doing a lot better at work the last few weeks and things like that. My YouTube videos, it's harder to film when I'm at home, as I've mentioned before. Luckily no one's here, I hope no one's here. Luckily no one's here at the moment, but when I have had the chance to actually sit down and do my YouTube videos, I feel like they've been a slightly better quality. I've worked on my channel a little bit in terms of having some other ideas for it, which I talked about in the last video. But my point is, the discipline that I've demonstrated sort of with the gym, with the diet that I've really decided to work on, has bled into other areas of my life. On the second side of things, with the sort of general well-being and how are you, again, sort of not to go over old ground, but yeah, if you're sort of sticking to the first bit and you're really focusing on yourself, I think a lot of the time that's going to naturally help put you in a better mood, because you're just going to feel a little bit better about yourself if you know that you're sticking with things. On that side of things as well, are you being social? Are you taking time to speak to your family, friends? If you've got your gym stuff on point, does that mean that frees up a little bit more time for you to actually text people, arrange a drink with someone that you haven't seen in a little while? I saw my lot on Saturday for someone's birthday party, and off the back of that, we've been chatting in the group. We've realised how much we all missed each other, and we're talking about doing a little weekend away at some point, and everything like that. So again, that will start to sort of move across in different areas of your life. If you put the time into one area, it's going to help you, yeah, I guess, be more organised, be more disciplined, and arrange other areas of your life better as well. On the final point of sort of where you're going, ambition, what the mission is and everything like that, that I know I said at the start, discipline is the most important thing, and in terms of actually the process, I would definitely stick by that. But as a man, you need your North Star. You need something that you're working towards, because when you have those days where you're not feeling disciplined, or where you have those days where your well-being isn't great and you're not feeling up to it, that North Star is what you're looking at. That's what gets you out of bed in the morning. If you're at 6:30, alarm goes off, it's freezing cold, pissing with rain, you're not in the mood to go, you're tired, you're hungry, you need a coffee. If you say to your brain, why am I doing this? And it goes, because this and this is where you want to be in 5 years, this is what you need to do to get there, you're more likely to throw the sheets off, get your gym clothes off and go. Whereas if you say to your brain, why am I doing this? And it goes, I don't know, I'll just go back to bed, mate. That's probably what you're going to do, because you have no reason to do it. Suffering isn't suffering if it's with a purpose, if that makes sense. If you're doing this all for a reason, not only is it easier to do, but you're also going to be able to take a lot more if you know what it's for, if you know where it's going. Look, I don't want to labour the point too much. I am trying to make my videos more concise. I seem to, in my experience, get the balance a little bit wrong. I either sort of make them too concise and they're like 4.5 minutes, or I just go off on one of my tangents and slow burning rants that ironically I'm doing right now, and they end up being 20 minutes when 13 minutes of it is complete fluff. So yeah, let me know if you sort of like this style of video where I'm sort of trying to talk a little bit more directly to the camera. If you did find any value in the video, if you did find any use, please do consider liking, subscribing. As always, comment any other suggestions you have below, and I'll leave it there. I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care, lads.